Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel where it's once again ready for our top 10 results of the Profit Retriever. This is for week 45, where we are looking back 4 weeks into the past time to see which ones are actually the best EAs, which ones are the ones that has the best settings. And as you can see also for this particular week here, we ended up with about 10,000. Well, when we start the video itself here, you can actually see that we are closer to 11. And the week before it was actually just around 12, so things are still looking good, things are looking stable, and we're going to jump straight into the week 45 top 5 EAs here. And the first one that we actually have is one of the currency pairs that we previously talked about, also on our news report, the New Zealand Swiss francs, that we actually had a bit of a margin call. We didn't lose the entire account in here, but we did lose about 6,200 at the time. And since then we let it run just to see where it was going to go. It came back a bit, and basically what you see here, it finished off at $700 or 7.0%. And now that account has been closed. Obviously we took that loss, and we're going to have a look at the entire portfolio a bit later also in this video. The next one is our silver. Silver is up by $648 for that particular week, or 6.5%. And then shortly followed after here also we have New Zealand USD, $426, 4.3%. And then our FTSE 100, $422 or 4.2%. And then finishing off the top 5 of the week with Euro New Zealand, $348 or 3.5%. Overall, if you would have traded those top 5 EAs here for the past week, you would have made $2,543 or 5.1%, and that is definitely good enough in our book, as we normally say. Now you can obviously find a lot more details about the Profit Retriever, and we continue to get a lot of basically people wanting to know exactly how to trade it, how to move ahead with it, what they can expect of it. And that's why also on our website, again, we have normally the past 4 weeks. You can see here week 42, 43, 44 and 45 is in here already set up, so you can see which ones are the ones that are producing good numbers over time. And then on top of that, we also have videos similar to the one we are shooting here right now, showing you exactly how things are developed with more comments for your hopefully entertainment. We also have a look at the individual months. So you can see also here another 4 months we are going backwards. At the moment on the website we have July, August, September and October in here, and obviously as we are going through the individual months, we will continue to make sure that we upload them to the latest and greatest. And we also have the Profit Retriever Portfolio Overview, and this is the one when you click the button you actually see all the accounts together in one place that we have put up there, so that we can see how they've developed over time. And right below you can also see some of the basically our recommendations. So these are different recommendations from Expert Forex, but this is what we are normally telling people that we believe that you should use as a minimum, depending on if you are trading index, metals, or the normal Forex pairs. And then from there on, you can basically have a look at individual currency pairs. That will take you directly to the FXBlue site in here, where you can then go and dissect the individual profit days, weeks, months. You will also see sometimes that you have some of the drawdowns. FXBlue is not the best one for that, unfortunately, but we do like the setup itself. And you can of course go in and have a look individual on how they actually operate, which ones are the ones that you think are the best ones overall. But let's start off with the top 10 accounts in here to see how well they have behaved in the past 4 weeks. And there's not much news regarding from last week, or well, there is news. Things has moved around, as you can see, but there's only one that has actually come in this particular week, and that is the one in 10th position, British Pounds USD number 2, link 100C, was 11 last week and has now basically moved inside. But the Excel is set up similar ways as we normally do. 1 to 10 on the left hand side. Then we have the individual metal index and Forex pairs that we are trading. The links for Expert Forex copy link service if you want to use them. And then last week's numbers. again if they move forward or backwards where they were, and then we highlighted them also with a nice little color to indicate green is moving forwards, red is going backwards. And then we have week 42, 43, 44 and 45 with the total sum in here, also total percentage. So if we start off, we can see that silver is one of the first ones that we actually had in here. It is now number 1. It was number 3 last week, and it has been doing quite well lately after, well, a couple of months ago it was in a big drawdown, and it managed to get out of it again. It took a really long time, a couple of months I believe, but you can see it's made it all up again, and I think the overall account is very close to 40,000, and considering we started off with 10, so then it's definitely not too bad. Overall sum that we have, the best weeks are for week 43 and 45 here. Total sum managed to actually get $1,705 or 17.05%. So that's pretty okay. But the race is actually close for this week's top 1 position. You can see here that the last week's number 1 is now the gold in here, and that is link 141C. That one has also done quite well in a couple of weeks, but that was week 42, week 43 with over $600, week 44 $317, and week 45 it has actually been in a slight drawdown which made no cash at all, and that's why it lost the position. Comes in at $1,654 or 16.55%. So again, very close to the silver at the moment. The last one in the top 3 is the FTSE 100 index in here. It was number 4 last week, so it moved 1 spot forward, and you can see why. It's doing quite well, 665, 528. Had a slow week in week 44 with $26, and then week 45 is up again with $421. Only coming in about $12 behind the gold in here with $1,643 or 16.43%. Number 4 is another index, the US 30 that we like, also a very old link again, 53C, was number 6 last week. And one of the things that I always mention about these indexes here is that they will go into small drawdowns or at least not cash in very much. And you can see that's the case here. Week 42, $264. Then they had a bit of a drawdown with nothing cashing in at all. The week after it comes back with a vengeance here, $797. And then week 45, it did go into a drawdown, but again, it still made $19, so which is okay, and that's the nature of the game when it comes to the index profiting. But it made $1,082 or 10.82%, so still up there with some of the best. In number 5 position, and the last of the top 5, is the Aussie Japanese number 2. This is the link 129C. It was number 5 last week, so continues to be there. But it hasn't been doing so well here lately. $187, 808 was the best one for week 43. Week 44 only $10, and currently in a drawdown, so didn't cash in for week 45 at all here, and ending up as the last one of the top 5 with $1,005 or 10.06%. So if we have a look at the top 5 over here, we can see the bottom one of the top 5 managed $1,006 and the top one $1,705. And in the bottom left right hand corner here, we can see that if you would have traded those top 5 results over the past 4 weeks, you would have made $7,091 or 14.18%. And that is pretty good and pretty stable results. Definitely very, very happy with that one too. Going back to item number 6, British Pounds USD, link 73C, a very popular one, and you can see the reason why. It has moved forward from 8 last week, but it's also cashing in every single week, 250, 305, 167, 187, and that makes up $911 or 9.12%. Number 7 is a second US 30 index. This is link 107C. It was number 2 last week, but as you can see, it's been struggling quite a bit with drawdowns. So for week 42 and 43, then it comes back in again for week 44 with an astonishing 848, and then again in a drawdown. So not the best sequence it's running at the moment, unfortunately, but it still managed $848 over the 4 weeks, or 8.49%, so still very much approved. Aussie Japanese, also a second signal in here. Link 98C was number 7 last week, so just one step back. And also this one here, similar to its predecessor up here in number 5. Also managed only $129, 707. They actually had the same amount here in week 44. And then both of them currently in a drawdown. This one here only made $847, or 8.48%. Number 9 is the US CAT, link 74C, also a very popular one. Also this one here works very well. It was number 9 last week, so it continues to do quite well. $255 for week 42, $132, $206. And then a very slow week of 45 here with only $39. Overall, still managing $634, or 6.35%. And then as we started here, Great British Pounds number 2, link 100C was 11 last week and has been moving forward, even though it hasn't been cashing in big time since week 42. 43, 44, and 45. Only managing small little numbers, but still managed to overall get $603 in, or 6.03%. Still good enough, but obviously normally we find the lowest part of the top 10 in here, more somewhere around the $700-800 mark. So obviously a bit low at the moment. And if we have a look at the individual weeks, we can see week 42, $2,989 it made here with 2.99%. Week 43 was better with $3,864, so 3.86%. And then another drop again in earnings, $2,707, or 2.71%. And then you can see how bad week 45 is. We only made $1,375, or 1.38%. So obviously a bit disappointing for this particular week. But overall, you have to look at the bigger picture again. And if you have a look at these 10 signals over the past 4 weeks, the total sum you would have made is $10,936 and 78 cents, roughly thereabouts, or 10.94%. And we are quite happy with those results. Now you can obviously see our previous results from past weeks. Last week, as I mentioned earlier, also here, week 44, we made $12,000. Week 43 was 13. You could see how close we were actually to 11 this particular week out. And then we had some lower ones in week 39 and week 38. We had 10 and 9,000. So obviously things are moving in waves. And obviously that's also what you need to be aware of when you are trading the Profit Retriever. Because again, this is not investment advice. This is not trading advice. You and you alone are responsible for your own trading. We are simply showing you our results, what we can see is working, and how also you should basically treat the Profit Retriever by trading in a portfolio in order to make sure that you have good progress overall. You also do that on individual accounts, similar to what we have set up, in order to spread the risk and basically make sure that not 1 or 2 moves in there is going to take out your entire portfolio. And I promised you we're going to have a closer look at the portfolio in here. You can see on the graph a very nice improving graph all the way through. And again, if we have a look at the weekly returns, we have to remember that FXBlue is actually looking at the individual balance all the time and see, okay, how much we are moving forward. But because we are not increasing lot size all the time, so we are still working with the coupling service of Expert Forex, which means that we should always trade it. So as it was a $10,000 account, and those we had 25 of in this particular portfolio here, you can see the equity is now past $500,000 over here. It means we have doubled the accounts overall. The balance is a bit higher, 565,000. So obviously we have a bit of a floating profit loss minus at 64,000, and welcome to the Profit Retriever. That is what you see from time to time. Free margin, you can see, is quite good, 480,000. So no big chances right now. So looks good. Monthly profits is calculated at 8.4%, but again, it is actually higher because we are not increasing lot size all the time. That is the difference, but the impressive part is our current history with 603 days overall for the profit retriever. So this is not just a short glimpse of a couple of weeks we are talking about, not even a couple of months. So we have now gone and we are getting obviously close to more than 1.5 years now, and continuing to go up to past the hopefully 2 years, and then we'll have to see if we're going to terminate this particular one here. Not that we don't believe in it anymore, but obviously we have new and improved robots, which we're also going to have to discuss a bit more. We have a lot of computer power set up in order to make sure we can provide this data for you. And that's what we had in this particular video here. I hope this was informative. I hope you can take some of the ideas that we have in here and then use them for your own trading. Or if you are not up to that, you can obviously use some of the signals that you have seen in here today that are producing some of the best results, and then link up with our ones. It is entirely up to you, but I definitely hope that I'm going to see you on one of my next videos. So until then, bye bye.